Welcome to Stretch Class with Workout Wagga. The stretches will be performed by Margo and the voiceover will be done by Brendan. Enjoy. Starting in a kneeling position, we're going to sway our body weight from the left to the right. We're now going to move our hands down onto the mat, neutralizing our spine, hands directly underneath our shoulders, rolling into a basic cat and cow pose. Staying on our hands and knees, we're now going to move our body in a circular motion, moving in a clockwise direction. From here, we're going to sit back into child's pose, resting our hands underneath our forehead. Coming up again, onto our hands and knees, neutralizing the spine, we are now going to move our body in a circular motion, going around in an anti-clockwise direction. And again, sitting back, resting in child's pose, hands underneath our forehead. Coming up into a kneeling position, we're going to move our right leg around and out in front of us, moving into a half straddle. With each outward breath, you want to try and transfer your weight back deeper into this stretch. Bring the left leg around, out in front. Give the legs a little shake out. Now, bring your right leg around behind you, keeping the left leg out in front. Bring the right leg back around in front. Give the legs a little shake out here. We're now going to move into a seated hamstring stretch. So bring your left foot to the inside of your right knee. Lengthen the arms up and overhead, then extend out towards your right foot. We're now going to move on to the other side. So take both legs out in front, give them a slight shake out, then bring our right foot inside our left knee, lengthen the arms up and overhead, then extend out towards our left foot. We are going to repeat the right and left side one more time each, this time aiming to go a little deeper into the stretch. Now, coming into a seated position, if available, bring the left leg up and over the right leg, putting our hands behind our sitting bones, lengthen and sit up tall. If available, from here, take both hands out in front, place them onto the floor, and move deeper into the stretch. Coming out of this side, take both legs out in front of you and give them a slight shake out. We're now going to move on to the other side. So take your left leg around, out in front. If available, take the right leg up and over. Place your hands behind your sitting bones behind you, sitting up nice and tall. If available, you can now take both hands, place them on the mat out in front of you, going deeper into the stretch. Coming out of the seated position, we're now going to come over onto our front, hands directly underneath our shoulders, neutralizing our spine, then progressing into some cat-cow pose. We are now going to thread the needle, so take your right arm up and out to your right side, then bring it underneath your torso, lengthening it along the ground, and then transferring your weight through your shoulder. Coming up out of this right side, sitting back and resting in child's pose. Coming up and out of child's pose, take your left arm out to our side, thread it underneath our torso and extend it along the floor, transferring our weight through our left shoulder. Coming up and out of our left side, sitting back and resting in child's pose. Staying in child's pose, we're now going to take our hands around to the right hand side of our body. Then taking them over to the left. Coming up and out of child's pose, we are now going to move over into a seated position, lengthening both legs out to the side, pointing your toes towards the ceiling. Bring your right elbow down and inside, your right knee, lengthening your left arm up and overhead. From here, we are going to change onto the other side. So take your left elbow inside your left knee and extend your right arm up and overhead, reaching it out towards your left foot. Coming up and out of your left side, transfer your weight up and over to your right side one more time. From here, we're going to move into Stargazer's pose. So place your left hand, left knee on the floor. Bring your right arm up and overhead, reaching it out towards the left side. And if available, bring our right foot up and off the floor. Coming out of Stargazer's pose, go back into a seated position. Extend both legs out to the side. Then reach our right arm up and over towards our left foot. Now, moving into Stargazer's pose on the opposite side. From here, coming out of Stargazer's pose, moving into a seated position. Give our legs a little shake out. From here, we're going to rotate both legs out towards the left-hand side. Bring the inside of the right knee in towards our mat. We are now going to twist our right shoulder over, bringing our hands on the floor behind us, looking over our left shoulder. We are now going to move on to the opposite side. Coming out of that side, take both legs out in front of us, give them a slight shake out. From here, bring our knees up and off the mat. Extend our arms out in front, slowly lowering ourselves down to the mat, taking our arms up and overhead once we arrive there. From here, lengthen our arms up to the ceiling. We are now going to bring our shoulders up and off our mat. From here, lifting ourselves back up into a seated position, arms up to the sky, then lengthening out in front. We are now going to repeat this 2 more times. Coming up, lengthening our arms up and overhead. Use your right arm to reach over, lifting your left leg up and off the mat. Take your left arm up, then lengthen out behind you, looking out towards your left hand. We are now going to move on to the other side. Coming around back to the front of our mat, we are now going to turn over and go into a kneeling position. From this kneeling position, you're going to lengthen both hands as high as you can up to the ceiling, then return back into the sitting position. If available, place both hands behind your lower back and sit back as deep as you can into this stretch. From here, coming up out of that position and moving into child's pose. resting your hands underneath your forehead. We are now going to move through that sequence of movements one more time. From child's pose, you're now going to move into a lying position, flat on your stomach, hands underneath your forehead, toes turned outwards. Hold this position, using this as a time to recover and relax. From here, sitting back into child's pose. Coming up and into a kneeling position. Rolling our shoulders out one at a time, then transferring our body weight from left to right. Repeat this sequence of movements one more time, starting with child's pose. Coming over one last time into a seated position, letting your knees drop out to the side. That was Stretch Class with Margo. We hope you enjoyed. Thank you.